You may have recognized this half-completed portrait in a prior video of mine where I teach you how to color skin and provide tips and tricks that are easy for beginners. Now, as I was coloring that half, I was wondering, what am I going to do with the hair? Sometimes, if we don't know how we're going to complete something, why not use it as an excellent opportunity for a challenge video, which is what we're going to do today. So I'm going to challenge myself today to complete this picture with a galaxy effect for the hair and for the stars. And I thought this might be fitting because her name is Stella. And I was thinking, okay, Interstellar, like the movie, and you know, all the nebulas and stuff like that. And we've already got a lot of stars and swirly bits going around. So I thought, why not? And given that her skin is quite neutral as well, I thought this would be a great opportunity to add some color for the hair, for the stars, for everything else, for the lips, for the eyes. So today we are going to complete that in a challenge format. Now I want to go through with you some of the blends, I suppose, that I've been working on, and of course the colors that I'm going to use in today's video. Now I'm using Prismacolor pencils today, and I've been playing around with a few different blends. So on this side we've got deep blues, purples moving into pinks, and this is quite similar as well. Over here, we're looking at your darker tealy greens moving into purples and into pinks, and then blues, purples, and pinks again. And this one is a slightly more bluer version than that. So this one leans more towards purple, this one's more towards blue. And I think it's a very good challenge for me to, I suppose, increase awareness as to what colors just don't blend. So I think we would have a bit of trouble trying to blend pink with these tealy colors. It potentially just wouldn't work, and it might look a little bit soupy. So I'm going to give it a crack today and see if we can come up with something really cool. We'll see. Let's go through our colors. So these are the colors that I have chosen today, and if you would like to follow me along with this challenge, you are more than welcome to. So here are the colors. So Prismacolor, I've got black 935, indigo blue 901, black grape 996. So those are our deeper, darkest colors. And then moving into more darker to mid-tones. So Copenhagen blue 906, dioxazine purple hue 132, parrot green, peacock green I should say, 907, dahlia purple 1009, mulberry 995, processed red 994, aquamarine 905, magenta 930, hot pink 993, and I've got a few spares below me just in case. So I've got white 938, amethyst 1104, orchid 1105, and just as a note, you might have these as lavender and lilac, not amethyst and orchid, and cobalt turquoise 105, just in case I want to bring up more tealy tones. So feel free to take a screenshot of those pencils, and I will also leave them down in the description below. And if you would like to skip ahead to any of the chapters at this time, feel free. I am going to be trying to do a blend of talking my way through my thought process, because I think that's really helpful, and discussing how I'm thinking and feeling at the time, and also a mix of some time-lapse-y stuff as well, if you just enjoy watching the process to music. And I haven't yet decided if I want to do the accents with a gold pen or white, or use both. I'm going to leave that to the end. The other thing that I am considering working on is just down the bottom here with the skin blend. Potentially when I was coloring this, I should have just perhaps faded that out to white. It looks like a bit of a blurry, messy blob to me. There wasn't any structure down there, so I had nothing to really go off. I've just tried to blend it together like the picture's just melting a little bit, but I'm looking at it and it's kind of giving me a bit of an ick. So I might see if I can add some extra swirly bits down the bottom. Now, my usual method for coloring hair is to flick each individual strand. So I would flick it like so. However, today I'm going to be trying to do maybe a bit of a blendy layering technique instead. We'll see how we go. I'm just going to play with it. I'm trying not to give myself any high expectations or set myself too many rules, because we just don't know how things are going to turn out. I should have said, we are working in Wondrous Folk by Karron. Guys, Should have said that at the start. Oh my goodness. So let's dive in. Alrighty friends, getting up nice, close and personal. I think I'm gonna start with my indigo blue for the darker shades, and I'm gonna start applying them to the darkest point, so where the grayscale is most prominent. And I'm not gonna add a black just yet. I'm just going to see how we go. I prefer to add the black later. So today I'm majority going light to dark. Sorry, dark to light this time. Whereas if you saw this skin tutorial, I've gone light to dark. So, and I think I'm looking at those colors that I had, and I think I would like to introduce all of these. Okay, black grape. So the first one was indigo, this is black grape. So pretty much what I'm doing is I'm starting with my darker colors as a base. So if you don't have Prismacolors and you want to follow along, just grab your darkest colors. And again, I have never done this before, so again, this is a challenge. So I'm challenging myself. So who knows how today is going to go? I might actually complete it and just feel like I hate it. Hopefully not. Okay, now this is the dioxazine purple hue. I'm just blending it. Just gonna see how we go. I'm trying not to have too many rules here. The only thing that I don't really want to do is blend those pinks and the teal, because it, yeah, might not look very good. Okay, let's add some Dahlia purple, shall we? And I'm just going to sharpen this one. Okay, I'm going to add in some these lighter colors because it kind of starts building up that nebula kind of glow. And I am bringing out the colors over the darker colors as well for this particular piece of hair. Starting on a nice easy bit just to warm into it. Okay, now I'm bringing in a magenta, which is leaning more towards our pinks. Just going to be bringing that in the middle. All right, I'm gonna grab my processed red. I'm gonna see if I can just squeeze a little bit over the top there. Let's see if we can add some white. Just as like a bit of a highlights in the middle. Oh yeah, that's cool, eh? All right, I'll brush away the crumblies, and I might just sharpen up some of these edges here. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next section, and I'm going to try to just do the next one as they kind of, and just build on them so that I can judge what I'm doing with the next layer based on this layer. So I'm going to try and like harmonize the relationship between these two, if that makes sense. We'll see how we go. I don't want to, again, I don't want to be like, these are my rules, because they change. And I'm thinking I might do like strands, because I do want to bring in those teals as well. And I'm thinking I might bring them just in on random bits. We'll see how we go. Or I could actually save the teal for these kind of shooting star bizzos. We'll see. What do you think? Tell me what you think. I've never coloured hair this way either, so I'm a bit like, like, please be good. Everyone's watching me, please be good. It's a funny thing about challenge videos, I suppose, is it's like, is it gonna be okay? Lots of layering for this. Sticking away, veering away from my usual blend and burnish scenario. But I really want to take advantage of the grayscale that's already there. Right, I'm following the same colours that I had. This is the black grape, just going over it. I'm trying to leave a bit of a gap there, just for the highlights. Because the magenta and the processed red is where the glow will start to come in. And you probably notice that I'm obviously working on the right side, but I'll probably do this side then move over just so I'm not smudging everything. But I will bring in a piece of paper if I feel like I'm starting to smudge. It's funny, I'm reverting to my streakiness already. Just kind of letting it do what it wants to do. I'm trying to just layer, but then I'm, you know, like flicking out like that too. And again, if you need any of the pencil colors, they will be in the description below, or you could scrub back to the start and take a screenshot. Okay, moving on to the dioxazine purple hue. Lightly does it. I think you would have heard me say plenty of times before that it is better to go lightly and add on lots of nice layers rather than go too heavy too soon and you can't adjust anything. I think it's going to depend on the shape of the hair and where everything's going, like whether I flick heaps or, because that was really easy just to blend and like that part looks really nice and I'm hoping I can mimic that, but there's going to be bits that look different. Okay, guys, Dahlia Purple next. And I'm pretty much just following the same order as I did in that first one for now. So moving up to our mid-tones, I'm just gonna drag it over that dioxazine purple and just bring it up. And I can always go back to my darker colors later and add some in if I feel like an area is too light. I'm really trying to allow myself to be patient and just let it be when it's got to be. Deepen up this bit here. And I'll probably join those bits up when I get to that part. So I'll just leave it like that for now, because I'll start there and work my way outwards. Alrighty, magenta. Still just going up the gradient really. And I can't remember if I said before, but I'm really using, I think I said it, just that first kind of test combination that I was looking at. Prismacolors feel really good for this because they're so mushy. Ooh, yeah. Blending over some of those dark colours. Pink and purple's pretty good, so I know it's not going to go too soup. Okay. I feel like I just want to go pretty lightly here, like there. I'll bring out a bit more here. But I want to use that for the white and get some like really cool highlights going. So just lightly, because then the white's got something to work with. I'm going to darken this bit up. Challenge is going well so far, guys. Okay, white. There we go. Bit there too. All right, so I think before I jump ahead, I'm going to try and focus more on the darker colors, because otherwise there is a risk that everything's going to be looking too pink. I want the dark colors to really come out and sing, and for these highlights to really be highlighted, I suppose. Yeah, I just don't want too much pink, so I could always go ahead and adjust things. Behind, we'll go darker colors too. Darker colors down there. So I'm just going to use the same combinations, and we'll either switch up to teal. When we switch up to the teal colors, I'll show you, and I might bring some bit of the blue through. We'll see. I'm going to play around with it, and I'm going to play around with it and we'll see how we go. Because of course I feel, and I think, I say this a fair amount too, that sometimes you don't know how things are going to look and you don't know how you want to adjust things until you actually get in and do it. I'm really happy with how this is blending. I'm really happy with this paper. It is just taking layers like a boss. And I'm really excited as to how this is going to turn out. So I can't wait. I can't wait to continue with this. But yeah, like it's so hard to know, isn't it? And I think that's what I love about a challenge. It is so hard to know how things are going to turn out. So let's watch the process unfold. Okay guys, here is our mostly completed hair. I just wanted to jump in and talk to you while I've almost just finished it because I'm planning on doing the background next after the hair. And I'm thinking of leaning in towards some teals, bringing a little bit of light purple in as well, just to kind of blend in with the purple that's going here. And the stars and the galaxy little stripes, probably going to do a similar thing. I want them to be mainly white with a little bit of a light color coming through. Probably going to leave the eyebrows, the lips and eyes and stuff. Let's leave that until the very end because I actually want to talk you and walk you through that because there's a certain way that I want to do it and it's probably going to be best if I share that with you. So you can skip ahead to that now if you like. I'll leave that in as a chapter. I just wanted to kind of explain my thoughts before I jump in any further. And I think we're going to make her eyes like a tealy color. We'll see. But I do want to keep the lips nice and neutral because if I have them any darker, she might look a little bit gothic. I don't know. That's just not the vibe I'm going for. If this was a gothic page, I'd probably do it, but it's not. Something more cosmic-y. So I'm really happy with how the hair is turning out so far. I'm really happy with the vibrancy, with the depth that we've got going on. Yeah, this was it. Challenge was a bit of a risk, but I think it's paying off so far. So we'll see how I feel at the end. But let's continue and I'll meet you back to discuss the other facial elements. All right, guys, so here is most of the page complete, just with the exception, obviously, of the lips, eyes, and the eyebrows, which we'll do in a minute. I just wanted to go through with you the colors that I ended up using for the hair and for the background as well, because there's a couple that I mentioned at the start that I actually haven't used, and I thought it'd be helpful to point that out. So I ended up going with indigo blue, and then we added black grape, and then the dioxazine purple hue, a dahlia purple, magenta, processed red, and white. Now those were for the hair, and then I ended up using for the background light aqua, amethyst. Now this might be lavender in your world, powder blue, and pretty much so what we've done. See how I've done splodges of the aqua like around, and then the lavender, and I've used the powder blue just to smush it together. Now you could use pan pastel if you wanted to, or some kind of pastel. I'm half thinking maybe going through it and just smoothing out a bit of the edges with pastel. I'll see how it ends up looking on the photos. Sometimes blue can end up looking a bit more grey and contrasty than when your eyes are actually looking at it. So we'll see how we go. I might change it, I might not. Now in terms of how I've done the star bubbida bubbities, this is pretty much, I've just applied the lavender when it goes across her hair, and when it goes across her skin, I've applied light peach 927. This is the lightest color that I've used in the skin tones. And again, if you need to go back and watch that video, feel free, because you can get all the colors in there. And the technique, down further, I've used light aqua. Majority of it is the purple. And then I've actually just I've covered the white lines in a tooli art paint pen. Extra fine, 0.7 is the size exactly. I did try using my white Signo gel pen, but it just wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, so I was more happy with the tooli art. Any like white apparatus would work. So that's what I ended up using. So the colors that I haven't used were the Copenhagen blue and the black, and the peacock green, aquamarine, the mulberry, and I haven't used the hot pink, the orchid, or the cobalt turquoise, and I can't remember if I said that to you, said those colors in at the start. The other color that I kind of brought in on the star bits was this 10% cool gray, and I've just gone around the corners with it. So like where it bends and folds, it's just to create this delicate little bit of a shadow, and then I've just like blended and burnished the whole thing in with the white. So now we're going to do the face, and I wanted to do that with you just so you can see how I do it. The eyebrows are going to match the hair, and they're going to be on the darker side on this occasion. The eyes, I'm going to go for some teals, and I might actually bring in that peacock green. We'll have a play around with that, see how that looks. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the darkest color, which is the indigo blue, and I've changed my focus. Sorry, I'm not going to be able to hold it up. It's the indigo blue. And let me just tilt this for a bit so you can, my hand's not completely covering it. I'm just going to see how the darkest point is here, and it's light up there. So I'm still going to just follow that roughly. I do want the eyebrows to be a bit darker, and it does depend on, so when you're coloring eyebrows, again, it does depend on the illustration and how it's drawn, but I think this, you know, grayscale, you're pretty right just to do it this way. I think you could do it whatever way you wanted. Okay, so we're darker up here. like so. Same with the other one. And I might actually just a bit of a, she looks like she's got a couple of hairs separating. So we'll keep that in without it looking too dramatic. Just gonna follow that line there. Okay, I'm gonna go in with the black grape now. So again, just to reiterate, I'm using the same colors, but I'm just going with the darker options for the eyebrows. Blending it over, it just creates that really deep, almost black. And see how you can we can kind of create almost black colors by blending other colors. You don't necessarily have to have black to make black. That's as far as I go with my color theory and my color science. So I'm just going to do this like so. Trying to keep it fairly soft-ish. Trying to anyway. Next is our dioxazine purple hue, our purple friend. Bit over here. This page is very, am I not purpley enough for the purple club? Hope you like purple. Right. Now for our 50 millionth tiny pencil. Okay, this is the Dahlia purple. Dahlia purple. Just going in softly, softly. Trying to blend it, but I just don't want anything looking too harsh either. And I think I'll stop at the magenta. I don't think I'll bring in the processed red. I do like my eyebrows to look a bit darker. Such a perfectly drawn eyebrow. That's what dreams are made of. Fun fact, earlier in the video, or maybe, no, it was in the when I did the skin one. I was talking about how much I love these eyebrows, and then I said mine don't look like that because I plucked them too much in the 90s. I've had them, like, I've done a test to make them look like that, and they actually look way too big for my face. I think I have a little head, so I'm just stuck with thin eyebrows. Not mad about it, it'll do. This is funny. This look isn't for everyone, is it? Oh, she's certain. Oh, yeah, I think I said in the other video she's been to the brow bar. Got her eyebrows threaded. Let's just get a bit of that happening. Not too much though. Okay. Right, let's add in the magenta, and then that's done for the brows. Just sharpen that up. I might add a bit of white. I'll see how we're looking. Too sure just yet. Ooh. Because as you would have seen with this, the white just really lightens up everything and just adds such vibrancy, and I don't know if I want it for these. I don't know. Don't know if we want to go full nebula. Just a bit of something. Just a smattering. Oh, I slipped up here. There we go. Okay, it's eye time. It's eye time. Now with the eyes, we're gonna try, this is the light aqua. So I'm actually just gonna do the whole thing just in a light layer of that. Just like so. Because we want to match the background a little bit. I mean, gosh, you can do whatever color you want really, but and then what I want to do is bring in a bit of, I'm going to bring in a bit of the peacock green, a little bit, not too much, just where these shadows are. And again, this book is so great for helping you where to place your shadows and stuff because of the grayscale. Just going to do a bit around the edge as well. This is more just like a tone builder. It's not going to be like the most prominent color as it looks now. I'm going to just use it to mix things, kind of like I did with the indigo blue. And you could just go a tiny little bit there. And then I want to come back with this aqua, light aqua, and just blend it in a little bit more. I'm going to avoid those highlight areas. Try and blend that in a bit. like that. Is it the iris or is the iris the, I don't know, is the iris the colour bit? I mean, I'll just cover that over a little bit. It's looking a bit strange. Then what we might do, so for the actual eye bits themselves, the whites of the eyes, I've got my rosy beige, which is 1019. This is colours that I used in the skin, and we're just going to do firstly that middle bit, and I might even bring in a little bit of nectar just to pinken that up a little bit, but then I will burnish this. I'm doing just the ever so lightest little bit of rosy beige because I don't want my eyes to look stark white because our eyes aren't, and we could almost bring in a little bit of blue to reflect the background. And again, you don't need much, just a little bit. Just around there. And I'm going to add a little bit of the cool grey as well, especially for up here. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the white. So to recap, I've used rosy beige, I've used powder blue, I've used 10% cool grey, and I'm just burnishing it with the white. Let's add a little bit of black to his eyelashes. I'll just a touch, just a smidge, because just to darken it up a bit. It's like crazy light. I'm not doing too much. I just want a little bit. I don't even know if you'll be able to see it on the camera, but just a bit of detail work, and I've got it very sharp so that it matches like the pencil stroke thickness. Because a lot of it got coloured over when I was doing the skin. That's just a tiny bit of black. It's almost like her eyes are very soft. They're not half closed, but they're like getting there. So I just want to kind of mimic that, and I'm also just going over the same shadow spots and just going a bit above. Okay, now I'm going to grab the light peach and I'm just going on these creases here. I mean, like, you could always colour that in a colour for eyeliner, but I'm not a huge fan of that. Like, you could always put this black but it's probably not my taste. So I'm going to leave that there. I want to darken up these corners, so I'm going in with the nectar. And I'm just going to, just a little bit. You don't need much. Okay, so that's her eyes. So, and now see how because we've made the eyes the same color as the background, it kind of ties everything together. Okay, so for the lips, I'm so sorry, but all the pencils that I want to use are tiny. So I want to use pink, which is 929. I think it's also called rose. And a rose pink, 1018. And then I want to bring in the light peach as well, the 927 for some highlights. So I'm sorry, they're all so tiny. Probably need to change them over, but I like to just get as much out of them as I can. You know what? I actually might go and grab new pencils of these, the pinks, because I just tried to sharpen it and I can't get it sharp enough. So that's done. And this is even smaller, so I'm going to replace those two. I'll be able to work with that one though. Okay, so I'm going to start with the darkest, which is the pink, 929, and I'm just going to follow the grayscale. And these pinks, I've chosen pink because, you know, there's pink in the hair, but it's just a nice neutral color. If it's your preference to do darker, then you could pick just a few from the hair colors and just pick a darker tone, a lighter tone, and a mid. And just follow the grayscale. So out from the corners into the middle. Okay, now I'm picking up the pink rose. And I'm just going to go over what I've done and bring it out further. Need to line these lips. Right, moving on to the light peach. Okay, I'm gonna just brighten that up a little bit. Not by too much. I'm gonna try and see if I can just cover over that grey. A smidgen. Okay, more light peach. And I'm wondering if we don't just want to bring just a little bit of the pink in on the cheeks. I've got some there. And I shouldn't have done the dots on the face. I can try and get around them. Just a little bit. Tiny little bit. Might not even be able to see it, but alrighty. There we have it, guys. There is Stella. Now, if you're wondering what I did for the bottom, I just did more stars and stuff down there. I wasn't quite sure. I could have done extra swirly bits, but it could have looked a bit too heavy, so I just left it. It's fine. In the thumbnail, I'll probably just cut it off anyway. I don't know. We'll see. So there is our completed page and Galaxy Hair Challenge complete. What a ride. I really enjoyed coloring this page. I really enjoyed doing the hair. I think it's coming out pretty good. So be very interested in doing more Galaxy and fantasy themed coloring pages in this book. So hopefully today's challenge, number one, entertaining, but also gave you some tips and tricks on how to color certain aspects. Again, if you want to see how I've done the skin, you can head to that video that is up on the channel. So this whole page is done in 2 parts. Let me know in the comments if you have any other challenge ideas for this book. If there are any of the girls or any of the images that you would like to see colored, just mention the name below. Every image has a name, and I'll see if we can add it to the list. Because this is a newly released book, why not dive in, hey? So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed our little challenge as much as I did, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.